Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and now that my two obligatory informative videos are down for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community, and people have requested in the comments, like, Jason, we want more V-Shrunk stuff. So I went to check his videos out. I haven't covered him in a little while. And good old V-Shrunk did a video giving you guys the best tip for gaining more muscle. Damn. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on scaling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. Now, before we get into this bullshit, I will say, look, I understand that to a lot of people, Vince does have that desirable physique. He has a swimmer's body. You want to look like Vince, eat a strict diet, and go swimming every day. You know, you'll look like Vince and maybe do some curls. Problem solved. So I'm not going to stand there and say the guy doesn't have, by some people's standards, what they might want to achieve. But you don't need to spend hours in the gym every day to achieve what he has, right? It's not like he carries a lot of muscle mass. It's not like it would take you more than 6 months of proper training to be as big as he is in terms of muscle mass. Other than maybe the biceps, you might need a year of curls to get there. And you probably just need to follow a really strict diet, right? And I mean, he does have some weight loss tips that actually work. He does discuss, you know, doing different forms of cardio, a certain amount of training volume, tracking what you eat. Hell, what did he tells people, oh, I don't do protein bars and stuff. I try to eat real food. Exactly. He eats whole food. What was his little tip for a weight loss snack? Was to take a banana, and he sliced that banana up into individual pieces and put a little spoonful of natural peanut butter between each slice and made little sandwiches and ate those. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, you know what, if that's how you stand around and make a snack, you're probably going to lose some body fat. I mean, realistically, it'd be pretty hard to get fat eating the way that he eats and what he prescribes. So I'm not going to say that everything the guy says is bad advice. I mean, realistically, in terms of just some practical tips, not saying he understands the science, but in terms of practical tips, you could probably lose a lot of body fat listening to this guy, right? So I'm not going to say that he's a complete moron, but when it comes to training, he's a complete moron. He has no idea what he's talking about. And I was shocked when he said, if you want to gain muscle, get a spotter. And, you know, then he's talking about the bench press. And if you guys notice he has no chest, like, okay, I'll turn to the side. Look how far my chest sticks out here. All right. Look at his chest. Do you guys understand the guy doesn't have any chest development? He's all bicep and delt. Like, he doesn't really have anything else. He has no legs, no back. And watch the way he bench presses, and then you listen to what he says about the bench press, and it's really obvious why he doesn't have a chest. I mean, realistically, if guys were to ask me, what's the #1 tip? What was the best tip you would give me to get stronger or bigger? Like, I'm struggling to gain muscle. I need to take it to that next level. Well, you know what he said? Well, you need to eat proper, you need to train proper. Now, let's go back to that. No, that's not a given. That's entirety of it. That's literally all you need to do. All right, let's go back and go to those. No, that is what you need to do. And he doesn't know how to do those things. He knows how to eat to lose fat. He doesn't know how to eat to gain muscle. Like, I don't know, man, maybe you just need to dip that banana in the whole jar of peanut butter and eat the whole jar. All right, that would help you gain muscle. Eat the whole jar, bro. All 2,300 calories of it. With a steak. I mean, this isn't difficult, guys. Calories and protein are how you build muscle. Knocking down some quality whole food, steak and potatoes, right? Eat a 500 calorie surplus every day of mostly steak and potatoes. Come back and tell me you're struggling to gain weight and muscle mass. It's pretty straightforward. But the training end. So people would ask me, hey, what would take my muscle gaining to the next level? I'd be like, well, what are you eating? Well, they break it down and I'm stuck. I'm not gaining muscle. You're eating this sandwich at lunch, eat 2 of those, right? When you're going to do Chick-fil-A and you're getting that chicken sandwich, get 2 of them. That'll take your muscle gains to the next level. Hey, I'm struggling to gain more muscle. What would take my training to the next level? I don't know, add 2.5 pounds to the bar. Oh, you're doing 5 reps with 200 pounds on the bench press or pause reps. Why don't you try doing 6 reps? Why don't you follow your coach's training program? That's how you take your training to the next level. If you don't know how to write a program, Maybe follow one. I have free programs. And unlike Vince, who's like, oh, we've got all these people, we'll sell you these shitty programs, and they're shitty ass body part splits from a tiny guy who doesn't know how to lift. I have free programs, guys. I got a whole playlist full of them. I don't charge anything. Knock yourself out. And they're all proven. Some of those programs have been run by 10,000 plus people. You go see people's training logs online, and they're free. I don't charge for them. Knock yourself out. There you go. Pretty straightforward. But it's hard to go wrong with it with basic classic programs. There are plenty of proven programs you guys can get jacked on. Plenty of proven programs, free, written by coaches. They're out there. Shouldn't need to buy a program. But that's how you take your muscle growth to the next level. Because he's talking about things like shock. Oh, you got to shock. No, you don't need to shock your muscles. You know what? Add 2.5 pounds to the bar. Right there you go. So the same thing. You're doing sets of 5 on the bench press with 200 pounds. Well, why don't you get some microplates and add 2.5 pounds? So do 202.5 pounds for sets of 5. That will shock your body and stimulate more muscle growth. Well, why don't you try to do a 6th rep? Right, that 6 rep, since you've accommodated to doing 5 sets of 5 with 200 pounds, why don't you see if on the 5th set you can do 4 by 5 and then 1 by 6, right? You get a 6th rep, add a rep, add 2.5 pounds. That will take you to the next level. Try doing that regularly. Because that's the key to muscle growth, is progressive overload. It's progressive overload. At the end of the day, I'll get guys who tell me, look, how can I get maximum jactitude without drugs? How do you want to get maximum jactitude drug free? Well, here's what I would say you probably need to do. Here's what you need to reach for if you're a reasonably healthy young man. If you want to be as jacked as possible, you hit all 5 of these, you're going to be really jacked for a natural. Right? And there's going to be limits, guys. You're not going to look like the guy with great genetics blasting steroids. You're not. Accept it. But if you want to reach maximum jactitude as a natural, 5 lifts you need to hit. You need to be strong enough. I'm not saying you have to hit these. You need to have proxies for them. You can base them off your 4 rep max, your 5 rep max. But here's what we need to see. And people say, well, I got 4 of those and I'm not there. That's right, because you don't have all 5. They're selected for a reason. And if you're missing one, then that's what you're missing. If you're missing the weighted chin up or pull up, and you've hit all the others, you're probably too fat to look good. That's your problem. You need to lose some body fat so that you can hit the pull-up. It's my body composition check. That's why I throw it in at the end. Because anybody can get fat and bulk and hit these first 4 lifts if you get fat enough. But can you hit the last one, then you've lost enough body fat. You have a reasonable body composition. You're probably under 20% at that point, unless you're really strong. Like I've hit that with ball being at 25% before. But I also blow the others out of the water. But what do we want? We want a 200 standing press, 200-pound barbell standing press. I want to see a 300-pound bench press, a 400-pound barbell squat, and a 500-pound deadlift, and a 100-pound dead hang pull-up or chin-up, meaning I want to see 100 pounds in plates hanging off of a chain around your waist. You can hit those 5 lifts, or they're close proxies for it, meaning, you could calculate how many reps would be a 400-pound squat with 365, right? You can go calculate that. You hit those 5 lifts, you're going to be jacked. That's what you need to work towards. I call that the big 5, that big 5. Now, people say, well, can I do weighted dips? Sure, you can do weighted dips instead of bench press. Weighted dips are awesome. They're awesome. Can I do a front squat instead of a back squat? Yeah, sure, you can get there with a front squat instead of a back squat, but if you're going to lift 15% less. So that's what, about 60 pounds. You want to hit about 340 pounds on a front squat. That'll be fine. Can I replace the sumo deadlift in there with, I guess you can. Maybe. Not a fan. Can I do a power clean instead of that deadlift? Okay, fine. If you can hit a 300-pound power clean. All right, that'll be a good replacement for a 500-pound deadlift in terms of your development. Hit those 5 lifts. You'll be jacked. That should be your goal. So I would tell anyone out there who is saying, hey, I want to get really big as a natural. I want to look like I lift. I want to be jacked top to bottom. Strive for reaching those 5 lifts. Program yourself to reach those 5 lifts. And if you have to bulk, go ahead and eat the whole jar of peanut butter. Bulk and then trim down to your desired body weight. You might have to bulk up to 220 pounds and then cut down to 190. You might have to do that to reach those numbers. Okay, accept it. Accept that you're going to have to gain weight to gain muscle. That's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get stronger And by stronger, I don't necessarily mean just your 1 rep max, your 5 rep maxes, your 8 rep maxes. You're going to need to get stronger on a variety of big basic exercises. And I gave you 5 because they're good proxies for overall development. I'm not saying it has to be those exact lifts, but you're going to need to find something that's comparable. And those are real good choices, right? Pretty straightforward, guys. But a spotter, spotters are useless. Spotters mess your training up. What do you mean you need what the hell do you need a spotter for? To help you lift the weight? To help your weak ass lift a weight that you can't lift? Why don't you just get stronger and lift your own damn weight? Why do you need to do forced reps? What does that have to do with anything? Again, we're going to take everything to failure, do forced reps. I need a spotter to help me with the last rep. No, man. Maybe your weak ass shouldn't be getting pinned. Maybe you need to know what you can lift on each set and program it and stop 1 rep short of failure like every single other massively big and strong person in the world who does it without blasting a ton of drugs. Do you guys honestly think that taking sets beyond failure is the key to muscle growth? Is there any research on that? No. How many guys out there who have benched 500 plus pounds don't even bench to failure? Who have enormous chest and triceps? There's a ton of them. Spotters? Having somebody help you lift a weight, or coaching you, or telling you, or screaming you, that's going to help your game. I don't think so. No. You need to program better. You need to train correctly. You need to eat more. And that's how you gain muscle. But a damn spotter, I train at home. I don't use spotters. What a waste. Spotters mess your training up. I find 9 out of 10 times a spotter messes up your sets. They take time. They make your workouts take longer. You got to deal with their silly ass. You have to teach them how to spot you, because most people in gyms don't know how to spot. And you shouldn't even be taking sets to failure anyways, right? You should be stopping a rep short. You should be stopping a rep short of failure, unless it's an exercise that you can safely bail on anyways. And that's the other point. Learn how to execute your lifts correctly. Learn how to bail out from under your lifts correctly, and then you don't have to worry about it. Set up correctly on your bench press. I've done videos showing you how to get the bar off yourself on a bench press without getting hurt, and it has to do with the way that you set up. If you set up correctly on a bench press, if you know how to perform the lift, the bar cannot reach your throat or face. It cannot physically do it if you set up correctly on the bench. Learn how to bench correctly. And then you can bounce the weight onto the floor in front of you. It's not really that hard. You guys have seen me do it at like 300 pounds. It's a demonstration. Not that difficult. Every other lift, what do you need a spotter for? Your overhead press comes down and hits your chest, guys. The squat, that's why you have safeties. You get pinned under it and you crawl out from under it. And you spot it on a deadlift or a power clean, you turn loose of it. It hits the floor. You spot it on a barbell row, you turn loose, it hits the floor. Weighted chin up, you hit failure, well, you're going to drop all the way to the bottom on every single rep anyways. That's where you start the exercise. What a bunch of bullshit. Jesus Christ. That's the reason that you're tiny, Vince. That's the reason that you're tiny. Silly ass bullshit like this. Why don't you learn how to train? Lift some damn weight. All right, guys. Well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.